This book is so much deeper because it's like Positively Wealthy is like manifestation, yes, like, manifest. Whereas this book is like, right, now we do the work. Now we do the work to get the big results. Now we do the work to feel the best, to be the best, and receive the best. Hey gorgeous souls, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me for another one of my videos today. So today's video is so exciting because I finally get to reveal my book 3's title, the cover, and tell you a little bit, not all of it, but tell you a little bit about the book. Now, of course, I am going to be doing a video a little later on in the year, like a couple months time before it comes out, to do an unboxing of the book once I have a physical copy, to talk through the themes and obviously what you can expect in the book and go into the journey a lot deeper. But today, I think let's dip our toes in, and I'm so excited to be showing you what I've been working on over the last 2 years. So my third book has taken a long time to write. The first time I picked up pen to paper research on my laptop was in May 2020. So when we were literally in the first ever lockdown when COVID happened. And it was a very weird time, as we know. Obviously, we were all going through that together the first time that it happened. And I was like, great time to write a book. And for me, a lot of things were coming up for me in the inner work side of things as well. So I was like, okay, this feels like this initiation is happening here from the universe. Like, let's see where this goes. So this is the book that I've actually wanted to write since the beginning. And I knew I was going to write this book. I didn't know when, I didn't know how, but I knew that I wanted to write a book on love. And although this book isn't about love in the way that I thought it would be, I went along with that journey and started writing about 20,000 words of the book on a book on love. I realized that that's not what I wanted to write about, and that actually the universe had a much bigger plan for that book, which would make it a million times better and still have love at its core. So it is a book on love, but it's not about love. So it's funny that my intuition kind of knew that it was going to be a book about love, but how it unfolded, how it unraveled, how that journey took me made the book into an amazing book that I'm so excited to share with you and for you guys to read. So this is the longest it's taken me to write a book. Spiritual Queen took 8 months. Positively Wealthy took 10 months. The Positively Wealthy journal took 2 months because it was only 10,000 words and was like, a journal. I love doing journals. And this book has taken me 22 months. 18 months of like proper focused concepts writing, but 22 months from like physically writing the first words to physically handing in that manuscript. So it's a long process, and it's felt like a long process as well. And it's wild to look back at where I was in my life back then, in a very different relationship, in a very different time of my life, a not very happy time of my life, to say the least, to then be here 2 years later, like in a whole different space, And obviously that's a result of the work I've done. Obviously that's a result of me going along this initiation process with the book and living this book, living this journey, etc. But it is mad to think like where I was then to where I am now, and all the things that have happened, which I haven't actually shared online at all. So this book is going to be, I think, a surprise to some people. One, about their themes and topics, but secondly about like, whoa, like this happened? When did this happen? So there will be lots of, I guess, reveals in the book of what I've been doing over the last few years, some happy surprises, lots of positive stuff as well. So I really hope you're going to enjoy reading little snippets of that too, of course. And it's just been such a magical process of such deep healing and transformation and abundance too. And this is definitely the deepest book I've ever written. It goes so deep, but because it goes so deep, deep, it actually gets the biggest results. And it's been so lovely to give this book, well, the unedited copy, my copy, to the test readers already, and the feedback from them has been so amazing. And I've also allowed a couple of my author peers to read it as well for some feedback, and they have said it's like your best work yet, Emma. Like, this goes so deep, this is going to help so many people. And it's just lovely to read that, because again, like when you're in that writing bubble as an author, like you think something's good, like I'm like, yeah, this is great, but does it actually work as a process? Does it actually help people? How is that actually going to be received, in the big wide world as such? So it's nice to always get those test readers' feedback, because then, okay, like this is working. Like I think it's good, but I'm confirming it's good and that people understand it and it makes sense and the process flows. So it has been so lovely to give this to 5 of you amazing queens to have a read. So thank you so much to my test readers, and all my lovely friends who have given some fantastic feedback. It has been so awesome. So the research of this book is probably what has taken the longest, honestly, because it's such an information book, and it's such the deepest book, which needs the most information and focus to get it right and to, make it understandable. And you guys know, like, I take out there concepts and make them so understandable and relatable and easy to digest. So this book absolutely is that, because you wouldn't expect anything less from me. And I just don't think I could write a really sort of like like a psychology book. Like, I definitely couldn't do that. It's not in my field of expertise. So I have had some fantastic contributors who are coming into the book to explain the science, to explain the psychology side of things, which is really, really exciting and a fantastic addition to the book. So I can't wait for you to read these, because they are some fantastic names who have come and helped contribute, which I'm so proud of. So this journey for me over the last 18-ish months has been wild, to say the least. Like, so positive, so amazing, but so deep. I wouldn't say it's been like the worst, but it's actually been the deepest, where I've had to go to so many new levels of inner healing. Like, my PTSD came up, loads of inner work and trauma came up over this time. And obviously over those 2 years, I've been working through that, obviously with my amazing coaches and therapists that I work with. I'm not able to do it all myself, to live my journey of the book, to then be able to create my own tools, processes, methods to create the book that you are going to read. So I have lived this journey quite literally, and it has been the best journey. And like I said, because it's like the deepest journey, it's also the most rewarding journey. And Positively Wealthy is such a fantastic book anyway, and I'm so proud of it. And that was such a big pinnacle moment in my life too, that book. But this book is so much deeper, because it's like Positively Wealthy is like manifestation, yes, like, manifest. Whereas this book is like, right, now we do the work. Now we do the work to get the big results. Now we do the work to feel the best, to be the best, and receive the best. So, this book has been definitely a labour of love. It has been my biggest project that has probably frustrated me the most as well, because it hasn't written in a linear order. Like my other books were very much like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. I've written this all over the place, because some chapters weren't ready to be written yet. I didn't feel like writing chapters. I'm very intuitive and channel when I write. So it had to happen at the right time, those chapters. So it has taken me a long time, but it's worth it. It is so worth it. And it's interesting, because in November 2020, I had a reading with my good friend, client, author, and one of the psychics I go to, Trisha Tony. And she said to me, like, this book is going to be, and at that time when I had this reading, I'd written like probably 1,000 words. It wasn't a lot. I had no idea where the book was going or the concepts at all. And yeah, basically, Trish was saying, like, this book's going to take you 18 months to write. You're going to need that time to tell Watkins, like, you need that time. And I was like, I haven't even signed with Watkins yet. What if they don't want it? So yeah, like, literally, I was like, okay, why 18 months? I don't know, but we'll trust this. And just like that, my camera died. So excuse the shifting of camera. There's no way I was getting it back where it was. Trish basically said it'd be my deepest initiation, my deepest work, my deepest book, but would bring these massive results into my life and transform my life and other people's lives, of course. So at the time I was like, whoa, okay. And obviously the book I pitched to Watkins was a very different book to what you're going to be reading. And I always say to Watkins, don't take this as solid. It's probably going to change twice. And it did change 2 more times before the concept finally came through. And I was like, this is what this book is going to be about. So it's weird because I always knew from the beginning that this book was going to be about love, but how it transpired and how it evolved was just so magical, because the book's essence at the core is love, but that's not the teachings, of course. So what is the title of the book? Well, just like Positively Wealthy, I didn't come up with this title. Positively Wealthy's title was given to me by Selena, my best friend. We were brainstorming one evening and she was like, what about Positively Wealthy? I was like, yes. So Selena came up with that book title, and this book title came up from my good friend George. We were again brainstorming ideas and he said, Hurt, Healing, Healed. And I was like, oh, that's it. And I didn't know whether I was going to actually stay with that title. I thought, okay, I'm open to it. Let's see if it changes. But yeah, I stuck with the title. It stuck, it stayed. And that is the book's title. I love the title so much. So thank you so much, George, for helping that title come into my life. So what is the subtitle? Now I need to get it up on my phone because it's still very new to me. And I can't remember it, in all honesty, even though I did create this. So there was another subtitle before this, which I created alongside George as well. George has helped me a lot with this book, bless him. And basically it was too wordy, too lengthy. So Watkins were like, we really need you to simplify it. And I was like, how would you simplify it? So the final subtitle that I went with is Release Limiting Beliefs, Fears and Blocks to Supercharge Your Manifestation. I love this subtitle, should I say, and title so much because I feel it really just absolutely does what it says on the tin. It summarizes the book perfectly, and it really is a book on just that. And I remember like a couple of years ago when I was starting this process, I went online and looked for books on limiting beliefs and fears, and I couldn't find one anywhere, not even one. So I was like, no worries, universe. I'll write that book then. I'll write the book that I needed through this journey at this time. And it really has become that book over this 2-year process. And like I said, I'm a big believer in not talking about things until you're through them. So for me, that 2-year catalyst period, 18-month writing process has been so perfectly timed, because when I handed it in, it was like, wow, like this is the perfect time to hand this in. This feels like the perfect time to release this now. And with where I'm at in my life, it just felt so perfect. So you've got the title, you've got the subtitle, but what does the cover look like? So the cover, when Watkins asked me what I wanted on the cover, I really thought it was going to be green. I was like, I'm feeling green, like Positively Wealthy had to be blue. Like it was as clear as day, it has to be blue. So I was like, okay, I'm feeling like it needs to be green. So I gave them a brief of white and sage, and they came back with some beautiful designs, but they look like gardening books. And I thought, oh no, no one's going to buy the book because they'll think it's a bloody gardening book, not a healing book. So they had some other options. They sent me like 20 options. It was amazing to just choose which one I wanted. And honestly, I think this was like number 2 or number 3, this design. And it was just stunning. Like as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's it, that's the one. And I never thought I would go for a beige cover or a neutral cover. I thought that would be for my next book, personally. I always saw green for this cover. So it's really interesting that as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's it. That's the one. It's perfect. You don't need to change anything. Like, this is it. So here is the beautiful book cover. I am so excited to show you this because it's so stunning. I love it. I love the fonts. I love the colors. It's just so beautiful. And again, the lotus is what the designer put on there. I didn't specify a lotus. I actually specified other flowers. But to be honest, the lotus looks perfect, right? It sits there so beautifully and it looks so perfect. So I absolutely love this cover. It's everything and more. And I just think it just, like, the energy of the book is so perfectly reflected in that cover as well. So I love it. I love it. And I can't wait to see it in physical form too and actually like hold it, because it's been such a labor of love and such a process. Like I've said, like it's been 2 years of my life. It feels so surreal to be like, oh, you finished that book. You're not writing that anymore. Like you've handed it over. That's it. So it feels a little bit weird, if I'm honest, but the best journey, the best 2 years, and I'm so excited to share this with you. I'm so excited to share this deepest aspect of my work, which goes in and clears the way to abundance. Absolutely. And again, I've lived this experience. I've gone through this experience, and I'm so excited to share the abundance and amazingness that has come into my life over this period and walk you through my inner journey and the things I have gone down. And I spoke a bit about the research earlier, but honestly, like I went out and field tested. Like I went out and tried all these modalities, all these different tools and modalities and therapy. One, obviously to help myself, but secondly, to make sure this book was so thoroughly researched and to make sure that it was going to be the best book that it could be. But again, the feedback so far has shown that it is that book, and I'm so happy and so pleased. And I just read that book, and like obviously when I did the final read through, and just felt so proud of it, because it has been a tough journey at points, and it's been the deepest journey at some points. And to be able to see that this book has been the byproduct of that journey in my life is so amazing, because that book is going to help people, and that book is going to serve such an amazing purpose in the world now from this journey and from this period in my life personally. So I can't wait for you guys to read it, and I can't wait to go along this process. So it is coming out on the 11th of October 2022. So originally it was the 8th of November 2022, because I said, oh, let's do November, and intuitively I always knew it'd be like October, November. I always saw that time frame. And basically when I handed in my manuscript, Watkins were like, it's coming out in October. So I was like, okay. But I love the numerology more because it's 11, 10, 22. So the numerology is perfect. Whereas there's nothing wrong with the 8th of November either. But definitely the 11th of the 10th, 2022 is some fantastic numerology, which I am here for. So this book, Hurt, Healing, Healed, is obviously divided into 3 sections: Hurt, Healing, Healed. And I walk you through my process to reach that healed space of feeling happy, fulfilled, peaceful, free of limiting beliefs and fears, free of trauma, free of blocks, and free from your past. Again, I'm going to go into so much more of the book in depth when I have a physical copy. I'm going to do another video on what's inside and what you can expect. But there's a little teaser for you today. Now, of course, you eagle-eyed viewers out there have noticed that it is already up on Amazon to pre-order. Of course, I'm not going to be talking about the pre-order or anything like that until the summer. But of course, if you're an eager beaver and you don't want to forget about it and you want to order it, I'll put a link below of where you can pre-order it. Obviously, it's available from all bookstores worldwide, and the pre-order is up, but it will not be coming until the 11th of October, just FYI. So there's a little bit of a time frame, but I thought it'd just be nice to share the title and cover and a few little sneak peeks in this video today. But I am so excited to share this journey with you and to share this beautiful book, because as I've said, deepest work, biggest rewards, definitely. And I think this is just gonna touch people in such a different way and resonate with people in such a different way to my previous books. And I don't think a lot of people expected me to write this book either. But I'm like, come on, I've been like, you know, dropping those hints in my work the last few years. So hopefully it's not a horrible surprise. The law of attraction is absolutely the key theme throughout the book. And of course, manifesting. So it is looking at that inner work and how you can clear the way to receive your desires. So those big desires that you know you have inner work to do, you're seeing, you know, hit and miss results of manifesting. This book solves all of that and is the fix to receiving regularly, to receiving from an aligned, healed space and becoming your best self. So I want to say a big, big thank you to my amazing test readers, to Watkins, my publisher, of course, and just all of you for supporting me along this process. When I announced the title on Instagram, you guys were really, really excited. So I hope if you're watching this now and you've heard it for the first time, that you're equally as excited too. But like I said, I will do a much more in-depth video in a couple of months' time. And of course, please let me know your thoughts. What do you think? What do you think of the title? What do you think of the subtitle and the cover? Are you excited for the book? Please do let me know in the comments below because I'd love to hear your thoughts, and obviously I reply to them all as well. But more to come soon, but I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all your views and likes. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here because I would love to see you again soon. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comments box down below with your thoughts because I reply to them all. And don't forget you can join my free Law of Attraction support group over on Facebook where you can join myself and other like-minded souls where we talk all things Law of Attraction and spirituality. I hope you have a fantastic week, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you all in my next video, which will be on Tuesday. Lots of love.